Hi, Limit Break Overdrive with a build guide for Path of Exile's 3.17 League. This build is about the Lacerate Gladiator I did last league. Again, I'm starting with this build, so feel free to join in my Twitch or Discord if you've got any questions. I'm gonna be more than happy to help. Again, this is more of a mapper than a bosser, although you can kill Awakener 8, Katarina, Elder, Shaper. You can do all these bosses. For my liking, the damage is a little bit too low for Maven and the Ubers, but the main focus of the build is to get gear and currency to play other builds to try and have fun. I made a few changes since last league. I removed Cluster Jewels entirely, which is great for SSF, of course. The reason I was using Cluster Jewels is because of the Brush with Death Notable that gives 1% life regen on kill. Instead, I anointed a new notable that gives 2% regen on kill and 10% maximum life, which is in my opinion better because you save a bunch of skill points that you can use for damage or life elsewhere. Gear wise, there's only two pieces that are mandatory, which is a Siege Axe with damage over time multiplier and increased damage with bleeding. It's pretty simple to get, really. You can get an Elder Axe, which has a higher damage over time multiplier modifier with a special Elder mod, but it's not mandatory. You get to use a shield to get block and spell block, so you get a Shaper shield with percentage life on block. And these are pretty much the only piece of equipment you need. This version of the build removes Blood Rage entirely. Once you get high enough level, you can use it while leveling. The reason for that is it's a massive degen to get a life leech. Instead, you get a life leech on the tree with a notable that gives damage also. Okay, the POB is pretty detailed. The skill trees are step by step every 10 points to show you in what order and when you should get what points, your lab, first lab, crew, merc, uber lab. I've got different endgame trees. The one I consider endgame is endgame with corrupting blood jewel, which is here. Corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you. Until you get that, there's a tree. Not this one. You take these nodes, you get slightly more max res, but you get corrupted blood immunity, especially if you want to farm Awakener. That's pretty useful, but overall this is a good stat to have. This tree is only if you get a big mana leech problem. You get another jewel socket to get just a jewel with mana leech. Best case scenario would be to get corrupted blood and mana leech on the same jewel. This is a jewel I got on SSF, not that difficult to get. You get the tree with more block, just in case your shield suck or you can't get any block on your body armors or shield. You can just play around with the tree. There's a bunch of notes talking about the skill tree. Jack the Axe, which is a unique Vol hatchet that's perfect for this build. It gives you more damage with bleeding and increased damage with bleeding too, I think, and it gives you an aura that reserves life. Thirst for Blood it's called, I think, and it gives you 400 life regen per bleeding enemy, so it's 400 for a boss, but when you map you're basically immortal with that. I got that one league and that was amazing. It's slightly less damage, but it doesn't matter, it's pretty good. So if you're in trade, try getting that, or chancing it with Gwenon, or be lucky, streamer client. Pros, cons. I got two cons because different trees. Reckoning and Vengeance, I use that. This is new. The reason I use counter attacks is because now I changed my mind. Where is it? Attack with axes or sword grant 1 rage on hit, no more than once every second. Rage doesn't give that much damage. If you see, I've got 1.1. If I remove the 55 rage, I barely lose anything. The only reason I get that is to get attack speed and movement speed, just for the quality of life. So I get rage support with both counterattacks. Vengeance triggers when you get hit, but when you blocking a hit counts as being hit, so this is gonna trigger all the time, as well as Reckoning that triggers when you block. And life gain on hit, because I had one more gem socket, so why not use it? It's just slightly more life regen. You could use Calling Strike if you want to, but I mean, I wouldn't get hit to call a boss. I'd rather use Calling Strike with my totem. This is safer. Movement skill. If you have enough intelligence, use Flame Dash. I think it's just better than Dash. And Leap Slam, you can get stuck sometime with Leap Slam, so I'm gonna try to get more intelligence and try Flame Dash this league. But usually I use Leap Slam with faster attack or Dash with Second Wind. So this is the same amount of socket. If you use Flame Dash, you save one gem socket. I'm not sure you can do much with that, but it's a gem socket. I stopped using Blood Rage. I instead use this cluster that gives 40% damage while leeching and a bunch of life leech. And I take the Mastery to get 30% increased damage, so 4 points, 70% increased damage, plus the leech. And you don't have Blood Rage degen, which is a big plus in my opinion, especially since some degens are pretty bonkers. I have 130% life on the tree with Blood Drinker. That replaces my cluster jewels, 2% life regen on kill, and 10% maximum life, pretty good. I still left the cluster on the tree. Wound Aggravation was a pretty good cluster for damage, and Brush with Death, some damage, and life on kill, but with all the points you save, you can allocate that. Get slightly more life, more damage nodes here, so you get slightly more damage than with the cluster, but this is an alternative that's totally viable. But I think Blood Drinker is just better. Other than that, War Banner, Reservation node, Fortify on hit. Fortify has been buffed since it's a damage over time build. Getting 45 stacks was fine with tier 12, 13, I even made a video on that. But with tier 15, 16, with Harvest, Delirium, I was getting like 1 or 2 stacks. That was ridiculous. Now, Fortify on hit's gonna ignore Fizz damage reduction, so we should get stacks more reliably. So this is good. Last note I want to make. Paintforge is used as the third ascendancy to cap block to get 50 block, 50 spell block. However, if you can get enough block without these two nodes, for example, I would need 12 more block. I can use that. Boom, I get my block. 50-50. Now I would take Arena Challenger. If you don't have enough skill points, you can drop Call to Arms. It's not mandatory, but Arena Challenger gives a lot of movement speed, attack speed. That would be ideal, but realistically this is probably what's gonna happen. But block is pretty much the biggest part of our defense, so you need to get 50-50, but that would be a pretty good goal to achieve. So yeah, other than that, pretty standard. Sword of Brine King and Shikari for poison, less poison damage, and being immune to freeze. So right now, Path of Building has not been updated to 3.17, so depending on when you watch this video, you can get a bottom prompt that says convert to 3.17. It's not gonna change anything for that build, but once POB gets updated, I'm gonna update the link in the description. Speaking of the description, you can find my Twitch, my Discord channel there. So this is pretty much the build. As I said, I'm league starting that, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a pretty good build to map. So let me know down in the comments if you like the build, if you've got any questions, and sub if you like the video. and I hope to see you next Friday on the beach at League Start. Thanks for watching, have a good day.